Crystal bats fly! Search the land, search the water, search the sky!
With the end of Skek-tember and the inauguration of Augh-tober, let's round up the news from the past several unum on today's episode of the Dark Crystal Conjunction. Well, howdy y'all, and welcome to the Dark Crystal Conjunction, your YouTube dream space to nerd out about all things the Dark Crystal. Since I haven't done one of these in a while, I'm going to cover some news up to this point that I wouldn't want any thralling to miss. So let's begin. On this past Wednesday, September 25th, 2019, we got the first issue of Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance #1, published by Archaia, an imprint of Boom Studios. Here's the synopsis. It's the official tie-in with the hit Netflix series, Return to Another World, Another Time. In the Age of Wonder, the Skeksis reign over Thra, but there are distant echoes of rebellion in the air. Gelfling and unlikely heroes emerge to champion what is good and just, but their stories started long ago. Epic tales of adventure, magic, and mystery sends us back in time to witness the untold histories that forged these protectors of Thra. This course is based on the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance series. Will Matthews and Jeffrey Addis are the writers, along with Nicole Adelfinger, and arted by Matthias Balsa. They present to us an official prequel to the next chapter of the pop culture phenomenon, streaming on Netflix in August. This is a 12-part series. The first 4 issues cover the quest for the dual glaive. This shows us a younger Ordon, Rian's father, during the time of the Aratham Wars, which is talked about in the Netflix show. These issues will be dropping monthly, with issue number 2 set to release October 30th, 2019. I did an audio dramatization, and I delved much more into this comic in the last video, so I will leave this off with just simply saying it seems like since the cover has the All-Madra and Hup and Ordon, and this one is a 4-part series about Ordon, that we're going to get 2 more 4-part series about this for each of those characters, the All-Madra and Hup. That's just my theory. Actually, I saw that from a guy on Twitter, and that does seem very likely with a lot of other comics I read based on the first issue, how the cover looks. So that's just speculation. So you can get these comics at your local comic book store or anywhere online comics are sold if you want them digitally. Each issue will be the normal $3.99 US dollar price. Also note that on the same day, collected for the first time in one oversized edition, Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Creation Myths, the complete collection hardcover, was released. This reveals the definitive origin of the Skeksis, Mystics, Gelfling, and the Dark Crystal itself, while introducing all new characters in an epic spanning thousands of years. And if you've seen any of my lore videos, I get most of the material from those, the pictures and a lot of the lore that comes from there. Of course, I use all the other material that is out there about a given subject as well, but these have made up a large portion of that. They are excellent, and I can't recommend them enough. This collection is listed at $39, but I've already seen it for $27 on Amazon. But if you prefer the 3-volume set of Creation Myths, you can now get those grouped in a box set. That's going to be coming out October 30th. So those are in their individual volume soft covers, and it just comes with a slipcase, basically. That will retail at $29.99. Quite a deal for such wonderful art, story, and 288 pages of it. I love so many things about this comic. I can't recommend these enough, so check those out. Released on September 24th, 2019 was the Dark Crystal Little Golden Book, and who doesn't remember growing up with one of these? The blurb reads, Jim Henson's epic fantasy film from 1982, The Dark Crystal, is gently retold in a beautiful illustrated little golden book. Children ages 2 to 5, and Dark Crystal fans of all ages, will be delighted to read about Jen the Gelfling's dangerous quest to heal the Dark Crystal and bring the vicious Skeksis and the peaceful Uru back together and restore harmony to the land. Wow, that's totally spoilers, I just realized. But yes, it is gently retold. There's no draining, and when Kira gets what happens to her at the end of the film, it just says that she, I think it was like cast down or was brought down. You know, it doesn't exactly say what happened to her, so it is a very much gentler presentation of the Dark Crystal. Very, very family friendly. Anyways, that clocks in at 24 pages for $4.99. I love these little precious golden books. Can we talk about the Weta Workshop and their Dark Crystal figurines, replicas, and jewelry? Because, wow, who are they? Okay, well, these guys are the special effects and props company responsible for producing many of the effects and props for blockbuster films and television series such as the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and more recently Blade Runner 2049 and Alita Battle Angel. They also make replicas from those properties and more properties, and they are now working on Dark Crystal goods, and these guys' stuff is top notch. Here you can see what they have already put out, as well as the prices. Note that there are more to come out, but you'll want to jump on these as quickly as you can because the first Skeksis they released, Skekso the Emperor, is already sold out. We will for sure be seeing lots more of these as they continue to roll these out, and it is also based on customer demand. There was a recent episode from the Trial by Stone podcast that sat down with them and discussed these epic replicas, but be sure to check them out. These guys' artisanship, craftsmanship is top notch. Definitely worthy of making Dark Crystal replicas. Coming out later this year is Dark Crystal Tactics, a turn-based role-playing game that will have more than 80 missions set in the wild and magical Land of Thra. The game will feature 20 to 25 character classes and 5 worlds to explore. It's due to hit Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Mac later this year. Everything about the game is closely aligned with the story and tone of the Netflix show, which follows a crew of Gelfling in their battle against the Skeksis. This reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy Tactics, which was a game I loved in college, so you can bet your bottom poddling slave that I will be getting this game. We will probably be getting a more precise release date soon. Currently kind of just says winter 2019 or end of the year. Also released this past month from Funko Toy Company, the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance 3 3/4 inch figures. I've heard okay reviews about this, and I've seen some people actually customize these and add on some paints and make these look even cooler. And I've seen these range from about $10 to $14 each or so. I'm sure you've already seen that the month before they came out with all those cute little pops. And of course all the exclusive ones as well. More of these are still going to be dropping, as we just got news about the exclusive Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, the Wanderer, and the Heretic Funko Pop, which I would love to have that 2-pack. That is coming to New York Comic Con this week and Target this week as well. The individual pops are usually around $10 a pop, and the duos I've seen about double or triple that price. Just kind of varies depending on how big they actually are. So keep your big Gelfling ears and eyes out for that. Lastly, regarding Funko, they're also putting out in this popish design Pez dispensers, working with Pez to do that. These will be about $4 to $5 each. I've already seen where you can pre-order them on Amazon and whatnot, and they are set to release in December. I remember growing up and collecting Pez, and another old classic toy I loved as well was Lego. So while this isn't official news, it could be with your help. Yes, you can make this a reality by showing your support for this Dark Crystal Lego creation. Brent Waller, a Lego builder, has created his own Lego ideas based on the Dark Crystal. This project has been garnering a lot of support from fans and also the Jim Henson Company sharing the project on Facebook. To support the project, visit the website at votedarkcrystal.com, and I'll redirect you exactly where you need to go on the Lego site. Create an account with the Lego ideas and click on support to possibly make this idea a reality. They have already hit the first goal of 300 votes, which gives them more time, then 1,000 votes, which gives them about 365 more days to get what they need, and now they're trying to hit the 5,000 vote mark. So take a minute out of your day and help make this a reality for Thra. Speaking of Dark Crystal stuff that came out last month, we got the Netflix show Age of Resistance. Yes, 10 more hours of the Dark Crystal, and wow, it blew away my hopes and expectations. And yes, I know everyone should know that, you're thinking, but you would be surprised how many people listen to some of these news things and they're just like, oh, I had no idea that was happening. And so just to make sure everyone knows and that I've announced it officially on the channel, yes, that did come out. Please watch it and rewatch it and watch it again to help a season 2 happen. Yeah, and yes, again, there are people like that, and I'm just like, have you been living in the caves of Grot your whole life or something? I don't know, whatever. So as we all know, that released August 30th, and just days before that, we got the conclusion of J.M. Lee's tetralogy, young adult novels, with Flames of the Dark Crystal, and I love these books. I'll have a review on them soon, but let me just say that even though this was a prequel to the Netflix show, or it was originally touted like that, the first one mostly was. It was really in parallel with the Age of Resistance, and yes, there are some things that don't exactly line up, and there are reasons for that. But in fact, in the Netflix show, there are times you don't know what happens because the book actually explains it, and the Netflix show gives room to the books to do that. Like, for example, how Gurjin got rescued out of the castle of the crystal, which we don't see in the show at all, and also where Tavra was leaving to at the beginning when she took off on some kind of mission she had, and they don't really explain it. That's all explained in the books, and vice versa as well. The books will kind of leave spaces empty that the Netflix show filled in a lot. Again, though stuff wasn't able to align as perfectly as the Great Con-Junction aligned, they still go hand in hand in amazing ways, and overall, I can't recommend this book enough. Anyways, the final book came out to finish up that series on August the 27th, and so you should be able to find it. You can request it at your local library if they don't have it, or anywhere books are sold, you should be able to find it. And I hope we get more of these wondrous books, as well as a second season of Age of Resistance, because they are both so great. I really loved it. But anyways, I digress. So though J.M. Lee may be done with that tetralogy, he isn't done in the world of Thra, which I am very thankful for since he has helped build so much of it up lately, especially in Gelfling lore. On November 12th, he has 2 more books to be released. First is the hardcover Heroes of the Resistance, a guide to the characters of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. The blurb reads, "When you're not adventuring with the Gelflings when watching Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance on Netflix, take to the page and explore this visual character guide to the fantastical world of Thra. Meet the extraordinary cast of creatures from Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. This exclusive character guide, featuring stunning full-color photos from the show, will have you feeling as knowledgeable about the world of Thra and its inhabitants as the wise and all-knowing Aughra." End quote. Is Aughra all-knowing? Well, it doesn't seem like that. But that's an aside, and again, publisher blurbs are usually a publisher thing and not necessarily an author thing. Anyways, this 88-page hardcover is available for pre-order and will clock in at $9.99. And yep, I of course already have mine pre-ordered. Also out that day by J.M. Lee is Aughra's Wisdom of Thra. Blurb. Fans of Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance will treasure moments spent with the all-knowing Aughra in this magical gift book illustrated by Cory Godbey. Doesn't everyone get their advice from a feisty 3.5-foot creature with ram horns, a detachable eye, and unlocked secrets to an entire fantasy universe? Allow Aughra to guide you with wisdom beyond this realm and advice only she can give. I love this team, by the way. This is the same team from the young adult novels. All covers and illustrations were by Cory Godbey, with the exception of the first book cover, which was by legendary Brian Froud. But anyways, I love Cory Godbey's artwork. He's one of my favorite fantasy artists living outside of Brian Froud. This is a 40-page hardcover that is clocking in at $9 for pre-orders as well. The book that I am most looking forward to is The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Inside the Epic Return to Thra by Daniel Wallace, and the foreword is going to be by Lisa Henson. And if you scour the internet like I do, you've already seen 15 different pages of previews. Well, technically each preview has 2 pages, so it's 30 pages of previews, and it all looks so incredible. The blurb reads, "Explore the creation of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance." How many times have I said Dark Crystal Age of Resistance? Anyways, Netflix's highly anticipated new prequel series from the Jim Henson Company, with this all-access look at the show's journey to the screen. Delving into the incredible creative process behind the series, this deluxe volume reveals how Jim Henson's Creature Shop, legendary character and costume designer Brian Froud, and director Louis Leterrier brought Thra and its characters to life alongside the artists and puppeteers who are continuing the legacy of the original film. Filled with exclusive interviews with the creative forces behind the show, plus concept art, set photography, puppet design, and more, this is the definitive exploration of the Jim Henson Company's epic return to Thra. This large 11 by 10 hardcover will give us 192 pages of behind-the-scenes goodness. I love this kind of stuff and I can't wait for this book. Let's just take a few more moments to look through these pages at all this behind-the-scenes goodness. Recently, the Great Con-Junction, the first Dark Crystal convention, is now the first official Dark Crystal convention. Very cool because it started off with fans. Anyways, above is the announcement of the Jim Henson Company being a part of the event, and is amazing news and congratulations to that group. Tickets are now on sale, and the link, like all these links, will be in the description. And all the information you can need is on there, with the recent announcement of Brian and Wendy Froud attending as well. Such an exciting time for Dark Crystal fans. Crazy too that this will be taking place at L Street Studios in the United Kingdom, where it was first filmed. It will take place February 8th, and tickets are £170, so start planning now. And speaking of February, don't forget that now through February 23rd, 2020, the Museum of the Moving Image in New York has opened a new exhibit for the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, called Creatures from the Land of Thra. Character design for the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. It explores the process of designing the fantastical characters for the new Netflix series, co-directed by Jim Henson and Frank Oz. The exhibit features a series of concept art, maquettes, puppets, and behind-the-scenes images tracing the collaboration between concept artist Brian Froud, who originated the world of Thra in the Dark Crystal, and Jim Henson's Creature Shop, which built the puppets for the series. Highlights include the Hunter Skeksis, the General Skeksis, a Fizzgig, and the All-Madra and Celadon Gelflings, as well as a series of detailed maquettes created by Toby Froud, which were used as models for the character. Well, I think that catches us up on most of the news. So much happened with Age of Resistance coming out. But did I miss anything? Please let me know. I know there's so much news out there, so much things going on right now. At this time last year, it was a lot easier to keep up with everything Dark Crystal, so this is a great time for Dark Crystal fans. I'd rather have too much information than not enough. Anyways, dream etch it down below in the comments, or just let me know what you are excited about, and let's together continue to nerd out about all things the Dark Crystal. So until next time, keep exploring Thra.